Chad Spangler from Service Bar, and one of the questions I get asked the most is, what is a martini? How to order a martini? How do you like your martini? So we're gonna just sit back and have a little discussion about martinis. Now, I think it's worth noting that at a time, martinis were made equal parts vermouth and either gin or vodka, but it hasn't been that way in a while. Okay, so people do still order 50-50 martinis. I don't mean to say that it doesn't exist, but it's usually bartenders or other people in the know. As people's palates started becoming drier and drier, the term dry martini, instead of referring to the dry vermouth that was in a martini, started referring to that it's less sweet. Even dry vermouth has a little sweetness to it, so the drier and drier martinis meant that they had less and less vermouth. Now, some point in time as well, martini became known as pretty much any cocktail served up. So if you've heard of an espresso martini or a chocolatini or anything like that, that was just kind of like a generic term that a lot of like chain restaurants and stuff started using for any drink served in an up glass. Today, almost no one really thinks of that as a martini. So if you're ordering a martini and you want no vermouth, the easiest way to do it is to say, I want a vodka or gin martini, call whatever brand you like, and order it straight up. There's no question about it. If you say I want a gin martini straight up, it means it's not going to have any vermouth. If you say I would like a dry gin martini, it can be left open to interpretation because you might think dry is a 2-to-1 ratio. Other people might think that dry is a 4-to-1 ratio, which is my next tip. If you have a particular ratio that you like, just tell the bartender that's what you're asking for. Say, hey, can I have a 3-to-1 gin martini? If you're at a quality bar, they'll know what you're talking about. Now, does it matter if it's gin or vodka? Absolutely not. What about the age-old question of shaken or stirred? So this martini that I'm drinking right now is stirred. I usually drink my martini stirred. The difference between stirring and shaking is shaking a cocktail is going to dilute it more, it's going to chill it more, and it's also going to aerate it, and that's the big one. You're introducing air. Now, normally with a drink such as a martini or a Manhattan or anything else that's mostly just spirit, you don't want that introduction of air. You want it to stay smooth and rich on your palate because you're not chugging this back like it's punch. This is a cup full of vodka. This is for the serious drinkers. So, you want something that's going to be smooth and easy on your palate. So I prefer mine stirred, but there's nothing wrong. If you like your shaken, shake it. Doesn't matter. I don't care. You could throw it or roll it in a shaker tin down the floor for all I care. What about garnish? You'll usually either ask for an olive or a twist. Sometimes I like both. A twist just means that you're expressing some lemon on the side. If you're having guests over, if you want to impress them, if you peel your lemon and then cut it, it looks like a nice little professional touch. Just put the peel on a cutting board and cut the ends off with a knife. And if you have good olives, my favorite are Castelvetranos. I personally do not like pitted olives. However, if you're serving it for guests, oftentimes it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to eat the pits. So probably get pitted olives for that. And those are your martini tips for the day. Cheers.